Sorry about that. My mom called me randomly. Like I said, it snowed, and she's like, Have you brushed the snow off your car yet?" Blah 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 blah. So, yeah. Sorry about the interruption. I'll have to somehow edit this together or something. I don't know. Technical stuff. Anyway, yes, makeup. So, good drugstore product. Love it. Now I have tried some new products that most people seem to really like. I tried the Maybelline because I wanted to, again, in my endless search for the perfect eye base for application to my oily eyelids, I reached out and I'm going to try some cream eyeshadows. I thought, let's just try it. So I got a couple of these Maybelline 24-hour, sorry, cat issue. Hold on just a second for me, please. Okay, yes, so I have the 24-hour color tattoo cream eyeshadows from Maybelline, and because like I've heard really good things about these, and I'm hoping since they're really cheap and affordable, like at regular price they're $6.99 at Ulta. So I was like, okay, and I checked the ingredients, and pretty much the only bad thing in this is paraffin wax, which is in what's in most candles. But for the price, I'm willing to overlook it, I guess. So I got three of them. This is the first one I got. It's like a pale platinum one, and it's in color 05 Too Cool. I'll open it up for you. And it's this like just platinum white metallic color. Here, there you go. Show it a little better. And it comes in a vase, and it's just like a pot of cream eyeshadow. And I applied it on top of my Tarte primer yesterday, and I liked it. I was very pleased with the results. I mean, I just used my fingertip and like lightly patted it over my lid and into my crease. I figured I'd try the white one first because white's kind of like a universal eye makeup pop tool. So I thought I'd give it a try. So I liked it a lot, and I decided, well, I'll go get a few more and try those out in other colors. And so I bought these two colors. I bought, let's see, bold gold and painted purple. Here's what the bottom of the pots look like. And so mixed results with this. I put on the purple one first today because I wanted to see what it would look like as a base for my purple eyeshadows, because I have quite a few purple eyeshadows and I like to wear purple quite a bit. So I was like, this would be a good idea to make as a base for purple. So here's what it looks like inside the pot. It's again, I think most of these are metallic, and like they're just shiny metal cream based eyeshadows, and I am returning this. I usually don't like to return in cosmetics, but this is, no. It's just going to take up space, and I couldn't get it to work. I tried using my finger, just like it did with the Too Cool color. Applied it all over my, oh my god, it would not, there was no color pigment, it was not pigmented, it looked just like a muddy mess on my eye. It kept getting underneath here. And it's like, well, maybe I should try, like, really digging into it and, like, trying to warm up the top of the product, and I tried that, didn't work. I tried using a brush to apply it, that also didn't work, so I spent like 15 minutes of trying to get this stuff to work and like apply. So I put makeup over top of it, and it was a mess. It was just not working. It made my eyeshadow patchy and like didn't blend at all, and yeah, so I actually stopped doing my makeup, went down, washed it off, I'm like, I need to start over again. So this is definitely going to be returned. So I thought, okay, well, just to make sure I'm being thorough, I will try the bold gold as a base for my next eye look, for, trying again. And so here's what it looks like on the inside, and it's a lovely, like, metallic gold color, very pretty. It's definitely just, a true gold with gold sparkle, and this worked beautifully. So this is going to be a fun guessing game of what ones to try and keep and what ones will not work. I got this because I do wear like a lot of shimmer nudes, I guess is what you would call them. So things that are gold and browns and like light colors and stuff like that, neutrals. This is going to make a good base for them. I'm wearing it right now with my eyeshadow, and I'll take it off and show you. So I applied it like all over the crease with a brush. I did it with a brush because I don't really like sticking my finger into makeup products. It's unsanitary and nasty to me. So I'm going to use a brush from now on. And I used it as a base, and then I left it alone in the inner corners. So that's what it looks like on the inner corners. Again, poor lighting. I should have not done this, but then I applied some Urban Decay eyeshadow, like a gold, like bronzy gold color, and a like dark, like brown gold color, brown bronze color. They were from the Vice 3 palette. Yeah, Vice 3 palette, and it looks lovely, and it worked really nice. It worked just like the Too Cool color. So I'm gonna keep that one and use that one a lot. And yeah, so I applied it to the base of my eyes, like kind of like a gel liner almost, and I can see this being really cool. So I'm gonna either return this purple one or exchange it for another color and try it out until I find the ones that work really well. Okay, and I talked about my beauty addiction paints in my other video, I think my second episode, where I got them from Etsy. They shipped in and I was wearing my color Voodoo and purple, and I got 3 colors. So I've tried out the Frosted Bronze color and I love it. This is what it looks like just by itself. It's definitely more subtle, but it's a beautiful like metallic bronze lip product. And it is not drying. It's a little teensy tiny bit drying, but not nearly as drying as any other metallic lip product I've tried. It is amazing, and it doesn't last as long as the Voodoo color I tried. And it's not as like opaque. Like, it's a little bit more something you would use probably to mix with other products. Like, I can see using this like dipping your brush into it and putting it like on the middle of your lip, like kind of dabbing it on top of another color to give it like this bronze like over shimmer. Am I making any sense? Also, you can use it as a base. I would apply it like this, and as it kind of wears off during the day, it's not as long lasting as Voodoo was. I just put like a pink with bronze lip gloss on, and it looks beautiful. And so I think this is a good color to mix with others. It will play nice with others. Again, this is what it looks like in the pot. So I was definitely feeling the golds today. I don't know if you can tell. I love gold and bronze. Like the Kat Von D palette Interstellar has a lot of really pretty like bronzy brown colors that I'm really digging. So that's a good and MPA Cosmetics is coming out with a new packaging system for these. It's going to be like a bigger pot with 3 like dividers in it for 3 full-size lip paints. Like, it'll be a total of 15 grams. Like, this is a 5 gram, so it'll be like 3 full-size of these in one container. So if you like to say, if you're like me, these are really small, but a whole bunch of them will take up some space, and yeah. So they're going to be offering like ones that they choose the colors for you, like a selection of like trios, and then you can make your own. And I am so excited about that because I'm not sure how much they're going to charge for it, because right now 3 of these together is $14, which is a fair price. I think you're getting like 3 lipsticks essentially for the price of one, less than the price of most higher end lipsticks. So if they keep it like right around $14 or a little more or a little less, I'm totally going to buy these, because especially they give you the customized, you can choose what 3 colors you want. So I'm thinking about getting quite a few reds from them, trying them out, but they haven't like updated their shop on Etsy for it yet, so I am crossing my fingers. I'm super excited. Sorry, my hair is like falling out. I'm like trying to like hold it. Like, I'm gonna get my hair cut either today or tomorrow. Like, I can't stand this anymore. I need short hair again. So this may be the last time you see me with awful long, overgrown, grown out layers and whatnot. So yeah, makeup was fun. Had to return some stuff. Hate being poor. I'm having trouble at work. but I'll talk about it at the end in the personal section. So if you're just here for the makeup review and makeup toying with and makeup section, I'll see you next week. I'll be hopefully returning back to my weekly schedule now that the holidays are over. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time on OhSheep Podcast. Alright, so knitting and crafting. Ooh, I got stuff to show you. Okay, so what's on the needles? Let's get with that first. So I started this project not last night, the night before, and I didn't finish. There's one holiday knitting project I didn't finish, and it was my grandma's crocheted shawl or shrug thing. I didn't finish it, and I started this. I'm gonna send this to her instead. I'm much more excited about this project than I was about the shrug I was making for her. Like I had like gone through a fourth of it and just didn't want to return to it. So I'll probably frog it and use the yarn for something else. But this is beautiful. This is from the Dream in Color Club. I think it's called Starry Night or something like that. It's the yarn, and this is the yarn I'm making. Project I started. It's crochet, and it's a shawl, and it is beautiful, beautiful yarn. It's kind of awkwardly holding this for you, but it's got sparkles in it, and I love sparkly yarn. Let me show you the actual yarn ball. Maybe you get a better idea of what it looks like. So it's this, oh god, I saw this and I was like, I know I shouldn't, but I have to. It's so beautiful. It's like this like summer night sky. It's got blues and indigos and dark navy, and it's sparkly, and it's really soft, and my hair just flew on it. Let me get rid of that hair. And so yeah, this came with a pattern for oh, it's all under everything. It came with a pattern for socks. That's what it was meant to be. That's what the club decided on. And let me show you the pattern. Hold on a second. I thought I was being all organized. I'm just not. No. Alright, so yes. So it came for a pattern for socks, and this is what the socks look like. They're lacy, cuff down socks. They're called the Celista by Andy Smith, and it's got like a panel of lace detailing. Here's what the front of the socks would look like. So it's like lace details down two sides of the socks, and you know, I like the pattern a lot. I think it's a really neat sock pattern. I do like lace socks, but this yarn is far too pretty to put on my feet or anybody's feet. So the people at my LYS were like, no, we're gonna have a crochet option for it, because the December Dream in Color Club had a crochet option. And so one of the ladies, Christy, found this really lovely shawl pattern to be a crochet option. Sorry. Excuse me. And she picked out the Belle Epoque, it's French, and I'm like not saying it. Belle Epic shawl. It's beautiful epic shawl in French. And here's the pattern for it. So that's what this shawl is going to be. So let me show you again, now that I've rambled on about the yarn and the club. So it's just very basic, like 4 rows of double crochet, and then a row of like a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, like a little lacy detail. So this is the body of the shawl, and it's wonderful, it's easy, simple. It shows off the color changes really well. I'm going to bring it closer because it's very subtle. Variegated yarn, and it looks like, you know, the night sky. It shows off the sparkles, and so this is what the body of the shawl is going to be like. And funny story also about this shawl. I spent a good portion of the day working on it yesterday, and I made a mistake. And I made a mistake like right at the beginning too. So it starts here, and you work your way out. I made a mistake like right here. I did not do a 1 double crochet into the chain 1 space, so I missed 1 stitch. And I got all the way to row 17, which is about a little farther along than this, and realized that my stitch count was completely off. It didn't look wrong, it looked fine, but it was not fine. It was like 20 stitches short of where it should be. So so if I had counted after every row like the pattern suggested, I could have avoided the whole mess and like avoided ripping all that out. But I didn't. But I learned my lesson, and I've been counting the stitches after every row, and I'm almost back to where I was. It goes by pretty quickly. It's with the size H hook, which is a 5mm hook, and so it's fingering weight yarn, but with a slightly bigger hook. So always count your stitches if they tell you to, kids. That's all I have to say on that matter now. But yeah, so I'm going to give this to my Grandma Sherry instead. This is much more fun to work on, and I feel it's more unique, although I want to keep it. It's okay. I can give it as a gift. I gave my other grandma the Dream in Color from, oh gosh, October, September, November, one of those. I think it was the November one. It was a hat and mitt set. And so I'll just finish this off soon and take lots of pictures of it so I can swoon over it. So the body of the shawl looks like that, and this is what the border of the shawl, it has a lovely little lace edging around it. And the pattern says that you can either use the same color, like 400 some odd yards of the main color, and like 100 yards of a complementary color for the lace border, or you could just use the one color. So I'm gonna just use one color. And this is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I didn't copy the first page, but again, it's the Belle Epic shawl. I wrote the name of the pattern on top. So it was like $5 on Ravelry, pretty affordable. Although I think it's a little overpriced for what it is. Anyway, but yeah, so that's that. And then the next thing on my needles is I finally broke out some of my Yarn Festival, Shenandoah Valley Festival yarn that I bought, and ooh, it's so cool. So I wanted a pattern that would really show off this beautiful like hand-dyed yarn, and so here is what the yarn looks like. It is called Witch Please by Knitty in Color, and you can find her on Etsy. She's from Georgia, and she's just one of those like amazing yarn fiber people, and it's so soft too. It's superwash wool, stellina, and nylon, and so it does sparkle. Can you see it? There, you can kind of see it there. And it's lime green, purple, a little bit of pink, some undyed white, some black, and orange. So it's Halloween colors, and I love, 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 love Halloween colors. And so without further ado, I'm doing a hitchhiker in it. And if you're not familiar with the hitchhiker shawl, where have you been? It's this really simple, basic pattern for an asymmetric shawl. And it's all garter stitch, and it has these little like peaks at the bottom. Let me see if I can. It's getting so big now that it's hard to show, but here, see the little jagged teeth at the edge, and it starts at one corner. So it starts here by casting on 2 stitches, and you kind of like exponentially increase as you go along. It's an 8 row repeat, and you just knit through the back loop, and at the beginning of every row, nearly every row, and purl 1 and then knit. So it's all garter stitch. And it's called the Hitchhiker because it's inspired by the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you have the right amount of yarn, it's supposed to work up to 42 points, which is, you know, one of the jokes in the books. I've read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and I really like it. So that's another thing. And I bought the whole pattern series that she has. It was like $13 on Ravelry. This is a paid for pattern. You can get it by itself for like $3 or $5. I can't remember. It's a really good pattern for either a beginning knitter who just wants to make something a little bit more interesting than straightforward scarf or shawl, and it's also good for showing off hand-dyed yarn. As you can see, this isn't self-striping or anything. It's very flashy, but the colors are amazing, and I love it, and I'm so pleased with this. This was like $27 for, 437 yard skein, which is, a typical sock yarn for with Stellina price from Knitty and Color, well, from any real indie dyer. And it just gets wider and wider, exponentially so. And I like it a lot. I'm at 30 peaks, so I'm very close to finishing. I don't know if I'll make it to 42 because the pattern like uses Woolamiza, which is like 500 yards. And I mean, I usually have leftover yarn for projects, so who knows, maybe I'll make it or make it really close. I have about this much left. I don't know how much this is. I haven't weighed it. But yeah, so I'm just going to keep going until I run out. Hopefully using up all the yarn. So it makes this really lovely asymmetric. I love asymmetry. I love it when things are like randomly colorful and chaotic and not straight edge, I guess. So and another thing is I'm using Addi Turbos in size, oh dear, it's like the 3.25 millimeter size. The pattern calls for 3 millimeter, but they didn't have the size at my yarn store, so I just want to size up, and it's probably a good thing I did, because I think it's like, this is a good gauge for me. But yeah, so this is my first time using Addi Turbos in something longer than the 16-inch cable size, because I've been using them for hats in the past because I like making, I like nickel-plated needles for making hats, especially with smaller, with fingering yarn, because I do not like a lot of resistance when I'm knitting. It makes my wrists hurt more, so I like slicker needles. So I was like, okay, I'll give this a try. I'm not sure how I feel about this needle. The cable is really twisty and kinky, and it's like, it's not so bad now that I have like a whole bunch of, stitches on it, but when I was first using it, I had to like coil it to work with it. Like, it kept flipping. It was annoying. I mean, I heard that you can relax the cable in these by dipping them really quickly in boiling water, and I might try that once I'm done. Obviously, I'm not going to do it with yarn on the needle. That would be silly. But otherwise, if it doesn't relax the cable, I don't think I'll be getting any more of these. They're really expensive. They're like $17.25 a pop. I mean, I'll keep these because I'm using them and I don't want to really return them. But if I think I'll go with different needles in the future. I like how slick the needle tips are for nickel plated, but the cable is just not my favorite. So that's the Hitchhiker. Love that yarn. And while I was at the yarn festival where I got that, I was at Knitting Colors booth, and she was selling these other things as well. She had a whole bunch of like Halloween colorway stuff because it was in September, and I love Halloween colors. Purple, green, orange, black and orange. I got a whole lot of Halloween yarn at this place. And like I said, I didn't want to bombard you with it all at once, but I've been like gradually, I'll show it to you. But she was selling these kits, these cute little kits, and it's the Knitting and Color. This is $20. Let's have the price tag on here. And the little mini skeins of her yarn, and like the same colors as Witch Please, and it was a Halloween mitt set. So in the back, it comes with, I haven't even opened this yet, but it comes with a fingerless mitt pattern. Let's see if I haven't opened this yet, but yeah, it's a very basic fingerless mitt pattern, and it uses these colors. These are just scraps that she had from the dyeing process, and her, she's like, I was telling her, I was like, this is such a cool idea. She's like, yeah, I had scraps and I didn't want to waste them, so I just made little mini hanks and sold them in, affordable sets. So altogether, it's going to be it's 140 yards altogether, and it's superwash merino, nylon, and stellina as well. So yeah, it's a Halloween mitt set, and I just like these colors a lot. And in fact, I think you're going to see a lot more of this color combination. Even, like I said, it's January. It's not even Christmas anymore, and I just want more Halloween. always Halloween. So yes, so that's another thing. Knitting in Color is on Etsy, and she does have really nice stuff in her store. I highly recommend it. It's like right on the par with other indie dyers. The pricing, like her non-Stellina hand-dyed fingering weight yarn is like $20-ish. So it's, you know, it's not as much. And she does have some spinning fiber as well. I was on there last night because I was just peeking around, and she did have a skein of Witch Please on sale for a little while, but I didn't jump on it in time. But yeah, you should check her out. She is awesome, and I'm sure you've heard of her. So yeah, anyway, moving right along, another yarn acquisition that I've made. This is a local yarn. It's from Avalon Farms in Maryland, I believe is what they're called. Yeah. So they're very close, and she sells quite a few things to my local wine store. Can you tell what I'm thinking about right now? Yarn store. And the second this came to the store, it called my name, and it was poor, and I had to wait, but it was waiting for me when I finally got paid, and here it is. It's like Skittles and yarn form, and it's just bright, sky blue with lime green, a little bit of emerald green, and red, and like a deep ruddy purpley color. And the yarn is from her animals, and she dyed it herself. And the label says it's a size 1 superfine, but no, I think this is definitely a fingering weight yarn. You can see it's very much a fingering weight. It's not lace weight at all. Oh, here we go. Here's the end. So it is so soft, and I have the little label thing in the middle. Let me see if I can get it out for you without messing up this beautiful little cake. Ah, yes, here we go. Okay, so Avalon Springs Farm. Her name is Karen Schlossberg, and her email is Schloss. I'll hold it up for you in a second, but she's on Etsy, Blogspot, Facebook, and Ravelry, and this yarn is 100% superwash merino wool, 555 yards at 4 ounces, hand painted, machine wash, and the yarn colorway is called Young Love, and it was $26. 555 yards of fingering weight at $26 is awesome price. So here's her little yarn label, and I like it because she puts pictures of her animals on her yarn labels. So like all her yarn labels have a picture of like a goat or one of her alpacas, and here's her little like logo with her animals that she raises. And I haven't met her in person, but I definitely really like the things that I think I bought something else from her. It's in my stash somewhere, or through my LYS. Like I said, she's in Maryland, so she's local, and again, I like supporting my locals. And it's so beautiful, like it's so soft too. Like I said, it's like, taste the rainbow. And I was going to make these into a pair of socks, but I think I'm going to change my mind. This is too pretty to put on my socks, to put on my feet, and also it's 100% superwash wool. And Jeanette told me that you could use DMC thread, which is like what people use for embroidery and cross stitch, to like reinforce socks in the heels and the toes. Like you just hold it double with your yarn if you have a yarn doesn't have any nylon in it. And I got some because she sells them, but it's just so beautiful. I feel like it'd be wasted on my feet. So I'm probably going to make this into something. I might make it into something from the Hitchhiker collection. Not the same one as that, the Witch Hiker that I started, but she has a few other shawls that are asymmetric. Like there's a lacy one, and I think this would suit much better just to wear it around and be like, bam, color, taste it. Yeah. So let me see if there's anything else. That's pretty much it for the yarn and what's on my needles right now. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I needed to talk about. I don't think so. So I think that's going to be it. I still have plans to set up my spinning wheel and start my Etsy shop this month, hopefully. Some other personal stuff has been going on. I'll talk about that at the end. So if you've tuned in this week just for the yarn part, thanks for showing up. My name is Shelby, and this is the OhSheep podcast. Thanks for visiting, and I hope to see you again. So moving right along, I only have one book to review this week because it is The Hobbit, and I could ramble on for a while about The Hobbit, so I figured why bother getting a second book when I'm probably just going to spend 20 minutes talking about this. I'll try not to spend 20 minutes talking about it. Do you like how my hair is just gradually falling out of that silly side ponytail? I might as well just take it out. So, I apologize. I just get more and more sloppy as the podcast goes along. But like I said, I definitely need a haircut. Like, this used to be, like, up to here. I haven't got my hair cut since August, since my birthday. Okay, so anyway, The Hobbit by J.R. Tolkien. This is the kind that I have. I saw the movie, the last part of the movie, and I wanted to talk about the book because the movie's out. But I wanted to like kind of compare and contrast the two. Usually, you're always like, oh, you're probably tired of people like, oh, the book is so much better than the movie. Well, only read the book. I don't really like thinking about it that way. I like to think of movies and books, even if they're the same story, to be like separate things, to be appreciated for what they are. So, I love the first part of The Hobbit. That was amazing. That was like my favorite, just the first movie. But after that, it's kind of like, I'm sorry if you hear that noise. It's probably just one of my neighbors like shoveling outside. Anywho's so the Hobbit movie. So the first part was really good, and I understand that. I want to talk about what I like about the movies and what I don't like about the movies. What I like about the movies is, of course, the aesthetics of it. I love Martin Freeman as Bilbo. I think it's a perfect casting. I love Gandalf, and I love Ian McKellen as Gandalf. And it was just nice to see like a return of some of the characters like Gandalf. Like, I missed him. And the movies came out like over 10 years ago. Isn't that nuts? Yeah, so it was nice to be back in Middle Earth, like Peter Jackson's Middle Earth, and so that the movies for their like the visual, the world building, then Middle Earth being in New Zealand, that's what I really enjoyed. But what I think that they could have done differently was they could have made it into 2 movies instead of 3. Originally, they were going to make it into 2 movies. I don't know why they split it into 3. Like I said, this book really isn't very long, and while every chapter is kind of like a mini adventure, and a lot happens, it could have been 2 movies, and I think that they could have gotten the pacing better and also covered more of the important parts. So, again, 2 movies would have been better than 3, and I like the casting. Like I said, the characters were spot on. Like, I love the dwarves, like all the actors, and I like how they were able to flesh out the dwarves as characters. They don't really do that he doesn't do it very much in the book itself, like, because there's 12 of them, right? I should know this, yeah. So, it's kind of hard, like, in a book this size to actually give them a lot of depth of character. And, like, that's what I liked about the movie was that, each dwarf had, like, a little bit of, like, a story, and, like, you could tell that time was taken to make them good characters, which I thoroughly appreciate in a movie, or a story, any kind of storytelling. And I also liked the fact that Feely and Keely were hot. I'm sorry. Yes, so, and I think, like, the first 2 movies kept in line with the mood a little better than the third one. And the thing is, the book itself is fairly lighthearted. It was actually kind of meant to be a children's book almost. This is definitely not as heavy, as dark, as like world disastrous as The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings is definitely a much more mature story. a lot more is like at stake. This is just a story about a hobbit who goes on an adventure and how it makes him late for dinner. Like, I think that they could have stuck in line with the tone of the story better. But I also understand how what they wanted to do with the movie is they wanted to make it more of a direct prequel to the Lord of the Rings, which is not necessarily what the book was. The book was written a long time before the Lord of the Rings was, and in fact the original edition was rewritten by Tolkien to put it more in line with the Lord of the Rings. Like he wrote the chapter Riddles in the Dark with Sméagol and Bilbo getting the ring. That was rewritten and republished, and that's the version we have now. So he did that to tie it into the Lord of the Rings. But like the ring is such a minor thing in here, and like the necromancer, he's just mentioned. Like he's not even really like he's just like a what's it called, a narrative tool in the story about Thorin's grandfather and father. So yeah, he's barely mentioned in here. And of course, they made the direct link of Sauron and, you know, being the necromancer, like, bam. The whole point of this was that for the 60 years between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, they didn't know that Sauron had returned. They had no clue. Like, Gandalf was, like, you know, uncertain. He didn't know anything about, like, they didn't go to Dol Guldur. They, like, the way that the Hobbit movie, especially in the third one, implies that, oh, like Galadriel and Elrond and Saruman, they all like were there and they all realized, oh, he's returned and we must do something. But at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings, they're like they didn't know for sure who the necromancer was. They had no clue. So it's like a little bit of a weird plot hole that even though they were trying to make it more of a prequel, they just made it plot hole bigger. So that's a little awkward. But yeah, so I like the book, and I like the movies, and I will get the movies, and I want them, because I've been waiting to get them, like, as a trilogy set, like, as extended edition. But, so, what I'm trying to say is that the book is good, that the movies are okay, and that appreciate them for what they are. Like, this is a story, it's very lighthearted, it's funny in a lot of places, and it's just a nice, like, you know, story that you curl up with on a snowy day with some tea, and you go on an adventure with Bilbo, who sings with like, you know, the elves are singing, and it's, like, the whole third movie bothered me, because, on the one hand, the Battle of the Five Armies, like, it was supposed to be, like, this epic, long, like, you know, battle scenes everywhere, and the battle at the end of The Hobbit was barely in it. Like, it was just, as odd as it was, is just like mentioned. Bilbo was knocked out for a good majority of it and just was unconscious, and you only hear glimpses about what happened. Basically, they're like, Tolkien is like, oh, and you know, everyone heard about the dragon was dead, and they all wanted to get the gold. So all these various people went, you know, all these armies clashed, and they were gonna fight each other, but then they ended up fighting the orcs, and that was, you know, a bit of nasty business. But it's, you know, it ended, and Thorin died. Oh, I should probably not say. Spoiler alert: Thorin, Fili, and Kili, and Ori die. Which I cried at the movie, even though I knew they were coming. I was like, oh, don't kill them off. Don't kill the hot ones. Sounds horrible. And another thing that bothered me about the movies is the whole romance thing with that female elf. I'm not very good at pronouncing elvish names, oddly enough, as much of a freak I am about Lord of the Rings. Tauriel? What was she there for? I'm sorry. I like her as a character, but why? Why was she there? There was no point to her. That feels horrible to say, but I'm like, and the whole like thing where she's like had her like dwarf crush and they were like falling in love and everything. I'm like, this is unnecessary, guys. There doesn't have to be romance in every movie. It's just unnecessary, and I don't know why it was put in. Besides maybe put Legolas in an awkward love triangle. Like when I heard that Legolas was going to be in the Hobbit movie, I was like, ooh, he'll probably be like a brief cameo, and you'll see him, and it'll be like really cool. But he was like in the rest of the movie. I don't understand why. like, it's fun to see Legolas again, but on the other hand, it's like, he feels forced into the role. Like, he feels like he's forced into the story where he doesn't need to be. And like there's all these in the battle scenes within the Battle of the Five Armies, everything was very disjointed. Like, you know, here's Thorn fighting Azog, and then there's like Legolas fighting this other orc, and then like Toriel's like crying over, you know, the dead body of Keely or Feely. I get them mixed up. And I'm like, this is like, you have like the big scene battle going on, and then you have like a random little bits of like personal battles going on. I'm like, this is disjointed. This is bad movie filming. Like, you think Peter Jackson would know better. So this is just turning into a rant about what I like and what I don't like about the movie. I apologize for that, but you know, if you see it, experience it, cry. I cried because Feely and Keely and Thorin died. Nobody else died though. More of the dwarves die in here. Ori dies, the youngest one, which is sad because he's just so. Especially when you see him in the movie, he's like this adorable doll face, like, you know, naive, innocent dwarf. So he doesn't die in the movie. That's a good thing. But yeah, so just read the book. It'll take you like 2 days, and appreciate the book for what it is, and then appreciate the movies for what they are. Like, again, summing up, the first part of the movie, really well. It captures more of the mood of the book than the rest of the movies do. It's like kind of lighthearted. It's more of an adventure story. There's none of this like hanging sense of world doom that's supposed to be for more of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just rambling on now. So some personal things. It's been busy lately. I've been looking for, I finished applying for grad schools, and I don't think I'll be able to get into them. I have doubts about it. I'm still waiting on recommendation letters. It's like pulling teeth from my professors, and so if I have a plan now, plan B, if I don't get into grad school this time around. I'm looking for a job, like real job, where either working like in a museum or something anthropology related. My dad's like, you should go in as an admin assistant and do admin stuff. So it's like, just to humor him, I'm applying for those as well. I'm looking to get like into a real job, and then hopefully they can give me recommendations for next year. If I don't get into grad school. If I get into grad school, awesome. I don't have to worry about that. But if I don't, which I don't think I will, I definitely want to have more of a real job to fall back on and be like, hey, I'm not wasting my time completely. I'm trying to, you know, like, even as an admin assistant, you can do, I can see where I can spend that for grad schools. Like, hey, you know, I've used to working in a professional environment, and I'm familiar with this, this, and this. So I'm hoping this will be not as painful as I thought it would be. I've applied to a few places because at work, the bakery I work at, this boss is being really, really annoying. She's docking my hours. She's being kind of mean to me, and I'm down to 2 days a week. And I barely make enough to cover what bills I have. So, yeah, I'm gonna need to somehow join the real world, and because it's really frustrating. A lot of these I'm looking for entry-level positions, but even entry-level positions are like, you need 2 or 3 years of experience doing this, this, and this, and I'm like, how am I supposed to have experience in an entry-level position? Like, I don't know. And I've been looking, and I tried finding some government jobs that are related to my undergrad, and it's also not looking very good. They either want people who have like a PhD or master's, or someone with more experience than I have. So it's like, so I'm thinking if I could even just get into like volunteering at or working at some sort of museum around here, that'd be great. That would be ideal, because I'd be like, hey, anthropology department at grad school X. Look, I have experience working in a museum, which is what a lot of anthropologists do. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. So far, nothing to really report on. So yeah, I don't want to blather on about my personal life too much. It's been a little rough, and but anyway, let me see. Who wants to see my cat? One of them. He is snuggling. I'm gonna pick you up 1 second. Might as well end on a happier note than my stupid problems. Say hi, Cougar. I'm using my laptop, so hi, Cougar. You were playing with my yarn earlier like a bad kitty, weren't you? So that's Cougar. I don't know where Remy went off to. You'll have to see him in another video, I guess. He's probably... Oh, he's over on the chair over there. Yeah, I'm not going to bother him, though. So I have 2 cats and they're brothers. Cougar is the black and white one, and Remington is the orange fat one. I'll show you pictures of them. They're on my Instagram all the time, which is Lianglan88. On Ravelry, I am Noodle Girl 88. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in this week. Sorry about the 2-week hiatus. Hopefully back to scheduled programming from now on. So thanks a lot, guys. And this is Shelby from the OhSheep podcast. Have a nice day and get some knitting done. Enjoy the winter weather. Bye.